Hello, welcome to this tutorial series on distributed systems and system design. I am Bala Subramanian. Today we are going to look into a problem statement uh, around eventing out atomically. Uh, in the previous tutorial, we looked into how do we solve this problem using a pattern called hinted handoff. Today we are going to look into how do we solve it using a pattern called transactional outbox. Okay, with this, we will look into what is the problem statement. So, in a business transaction, which is involving a mutation in a particular domain, which is create, update, or delete of data, we might have to event it out to other domains sometimes or many times. So, these are domain events, and these are very critical for other domains to take business critical actions. Okay, what are those things which we need to event out and why it is important? Let's take few examples and understand before we jump into the solution. Financial systems for reconciliation and fraud detection. For example, if somebody is doing a credit card payment in a particular from a particular originating from a particular IP, and the similar transactions happens across a different IP, the fraud detection system has to understand the source IP of these two transactions to find out whether the transaction is happening from is it a fraudulent transaction or is it a very genuine transaction. There are a lot of systems which operate around it. For example, you might have noticed it if you would have tried to log in from a different machine which is new, you might get different security questions. Notifying the customers on the status of the operation. For example, after doing an order, after submitting an order in e-commerce sites, we might get a notification that order will be shipped at so and so time it is expected. Your order is received and the payment is successful. This makes sure that the customers understand what also get a confirmation that their order is successful. Also, it can the domain event also can trigger other steps in the business transaction or the business flow. For example, when it comes to other scheduling operations, when a particular record is inserted, we might have to trigger the scheduler to perform other background jobs. So those are the things that we need to perform. Here, usually the eventing system would be a different software and the database would be different. We can talk about we can take an example of the data store can be a relational database such as Postgres, MySQL, or any other relational or even non-relational databases such as MongoDB or Couchbase can be used as a transactional data store or online transactional processing data store. And the eventing systems can be Kafka or any other messaging system like RabbitMQ or whatever it is. So what is the problems? If we need to make these two transactions as an atomic unit, one unit, it becomes very difficult to create a distributed transaction across two different software, which is Kafka and the relational store or a non-relational store. But what the requirement is, we need to perform this in a single unit of work. So what is a unit of work? Either the the operation which is involving the create, update, or delete and the notification succeeds together or fails together. That is called unit of work. We should look into these two as one unit of work. Let's take this diagram. If take the bigger box, the DB operation and the eventing out has to happen holistically or fail holistically, because any partial write and not notifying the system would have a critical impact on the business. So we need to make both of them happen together or not happen. So that is the problem statement that we are looking into. So both the persisting to DB and eventing out are critical, and one cannot fail while the other succeeds. So what are the ways we can solve this? We can use a pattern called transactional outbox, or we can use another way like write and the CDC. Let's say look into both of these problem statements or both of the solutions in depth while we we understand that which is better, which is not better, and we can pick and choose what fits our need, right? So what is transactional outbox? A transactional outbox is a pattern where we would create a table or a document called outbox, okay, and we will persist the data in that outbox table along the data that we are persisting. For example, we are writing an order data which contains the order number, the cart ID, the customer detail, order total, and the payment status, and all these things. And the same eventing outbox table will also contain similar data which are required for eventing out. So we will have two tables. While performing the write on the main table, we would also perform the write on the outbox table. So there are two tables. One is the main table as well as the outbox table. So we can write to these two tables within a single transaction. So which happens as one unit of work. Either the write to the order table succeeds, both the write to order table and the outbox succeeds, or both fails. So this can happen as using a transaction. Okay. So the atomic write to tables are performed using transaction support, which is available in relational databases. Postgres, MySQL, or any relational databases supports transactional writes. So we can do transactional writes. Sir, what if I am not using a transactional database, but a database which doesn't support a transaction? But how do I do it? There are some non-relational databases such as Couchbase and MongoDB permits or supports transactional writes across two documents. We can write two document atomically. So one can be the actual order data and the other can be outbox document. So both can happen in a single transaction unit or fail. So we can use such approaches to do it. So that these are the places where we can use. Wherever the transactional support is available, we can use a transactional outbox pattern, because we cannot create a distributed transaction. So that's out of scope at this point. So we can utilize the transactional capability of the which is offered by the database to perform this operation. So what happens when we create a transaction? When we create a transaction as a unit of work, write to the database, write to the eventing table, write to the actual table, write to the outbox table, commit the transaction. So it means that both of them succeeds. Okay, so that's the case. So what if my table doesn't, or if my underlying data store doesn't support transaction, we will look into the different solution, which is the point number 2, which we were looking into, right to the table and CDC. That's the second approach we are going to look into. But let's revisit that problem statement little later after we look into how can we implement, or how did we how can we implement the transactional outbox table. So why we are successful in writing to the table, we have written it to the table. What happens post writing to that particular table? Let's look into it. So while we write to the main table, that is persisted, and the outbox table also persisted. So there will be another sidecar. Sidecar is another process which will be running. Okay. What happens with that sidecar is it gets deployed along the main process that we have already discussed in the previous tutorial as well. But for the completeness of this tutorial, I am telling about the sidecar. This sidecar will keep querying the outbox table for the latest set of transactions which are written, processes those records one by one, notify it to the eventing system, which is Kafka or anything. So what happens? It may query what if in an internet scale application we are writing thousands of records per second. No problem. We can query it like paginated way. Take the top 10 records ordered by created time. Notify it. Take the next top 10 records ordered by created time. Notify it. Those are regarded with regards to the implementation part, right? We need not go into it, but we can touch base on it. If our system supports thousands and thousands of transactions per second, assume like we are the likes of Amazon, Walmart, and where lot of people are Alibaba, where a lot of people are Flipkart, where a lot of people are shopping on a particular day, and how do we notify the downstream customers? So we can take we can have a distributed or a multi-threaded sidecar where each thread can fetch 10 records or 100 records at any point of time. Try to notify it to the eventing system. So what is the benefit of it? Whenever there is a transient failure happens during the notification, for example, if we are not able to notify because of a network failure, network glitch because of a network partition, or a transient unavailability of the eventing system because the eventing system is experiencing heavy load, we can implement a retry pattern, right? So while we implement a retry pattern, we can retry as many times as we want, and we are also sure that what we have to notify is already present in the table, so there is no data loss. So the downstream systems will get the data evented out to them. So but they will be getting the data in an eventual consistent manner. It's not a strong consistency, but that's the need. The problem statement says that while we are eventing it to the other domains, it means that it is eventually consistent. Once the notification is successful, we can go ahead and remove the data from the outbox table. In this way, we can even minimize the growth of the data from the outbox table, and the transactional table only keeps growing. So let's look into the flow quickly. So this is the service where everybody calls a write. This is a REST application. Think of this as a REST endpoint where orders keeps coming in. So we write to the transactional table, which is the order table, and we also write to the outbox table at the same time. Both of these are happening at a single unit of work. Either both succeeds or both fails. There will be an event processor which will be hosted or which will be deployed along within the same container where the service runs. This event processor fetches the data from the outbox table and tries to notify it to the message broker. In this case, it can be a Kafka or whatever it is. In case of any network partition or in case of any transient failures, the event processor will retry based on the settings which is configured, and then try to notify it till the system comes back. And once the successful notification to the downstream systems, the data gets deleted from the outbox table. This is the approach that we are going to follow. Okay, so in this way, we are guaranteeing that none of the events that is received by the domain which is doing the main processing, it also guarantees that the other domains which are dependent on the main domain, or the subdomains or the cross domains which are dependent on the main domain, will get the data and in any terms. Okay, that's the guarantee that we are doing. That's the guarantee that we are getting out of this transactional outbox pattern. What if the data doesn't support the transaction? So we have looked into, right, here we need transactions. Obviously without transactions we cannot implement a single unit of work. So we are riding on the benefits offered by the relational databases or the non-relational databases, which provides a way to perform atomic writes of two different tables or two different documents at the same point of time, and both happen atomically. So we are riding on the feature which is offered by the table. What if we are choosing Cassandra, where the Cassandra doesn't offer a transactional write across two key spaces? So we would not be able to write two tables, two key spaces or two tables that both of them are one and the same. You can use either of the terms. So what will we do? We can use another pattern which is called write to the table and do a change data capture. The change data capture itself is a very big subject, or it itself is another pattern. We will look into this pattern in a different tutorial, but let's understand. So what is change data capture? Change data capture is also an eventing mechanism which is offered by most of the database providers. Whenever a change happens to the database, the underlying database emits, this is the change which has happened. This was the previous state, this is the current state. If it is a mutation, if it is an insertion, it will say that okay, there is no previous state and this is the change which is happened, along with all the other metadata as well. So we need to listen into the change which is emitted by the underlying system and take the data and we can event it out. So So this is called change data capture, right? If the underlying DB doesn't support a transactional write, we can use an approach of write plus CDC. As I already told, the many databases support CDC. Couchbase supports CDC, MongoDB supports CDC, and MongoDB replication happens via CDC is what I have read. You can find out if my understanding is wrong. Cassandra also supports, Postgres supports CDC. So we can tweak in our code to listen to the CDC which is offered by them, and then we can push the data to the eventing system. Okay. So handling CDC in a distributed way is a different problem to solve. So what if we are writing the underlying data stores is a distributed data store. For example, take the data is written to Cassandra or Couchbase where we are trying to write it to any node in the system, and we have single node which listens to the CDC. We have to come up with a distributed way of observing the data from the CDC, and we also need to ensure that even if all the nodes listens to the CDC, only one node publishes it. That is another problem to solve, but yeah, this is what we need to. Is there a different way that we can do CDC? Yes, there is a different way. Kafka offers something called a Kafka Connect, which can tweak into the CDC, which is offered by the underlying tables, relational databases such as MySQL or Postgres, which can listen into the data which is inserted into a table, and then pushes the data to the Kafka system. Even the same transactional outbox, we need not come up with an event processor here. This can be replaced by a Kafka Connect, which is using a JDBC connector, which can listen into the data inserted into the outbox table and push it to Kafka. That also can be used. Kafka Connect can also be used here. We need not write a custom query to go and fetch and write into it. That's the first way that I have explained. We can use Kafka Connect as well to do it. So there is another way, but yes, a transactional outbox pattern can also the Kafka Connect can be used with a transactional outbox pattern, which the Kafka Connect underlying uses CDC of it. So that can also be CDC can also be tweaked into the transactional outbox pattern as well if we want to. Also, there are other tools such as Debezium, which offers an efficient way to capture the change data or the data inserted within a particular table, and then we can do it. It is a choice. It is a choice which has to be made by the architect or the engineer who develops the system, whether I have to use a transactional outbox or the CDC to implement it. So we are here understanding what are the possible ways to event out atomically. What is the best suited for what is the best way that we have to implement it? It is that we are leaving it the choice to the engineers. Um, so what are the things that we need to consider? So what we while we handle this, what are the points that we need to consider while we are implementing the transactional outbox pattern? So we need to be a little careful about certain things, right? So those are the things that we are going to look into while we are operating at internet scale, right? For example, a Flipkart on a sale day, right? A lot of sale happens, and on Amazon also sale happens. In Flipkart, Independence Day sale, Diwali sale, in Amazon some sale happens. During the day, when a product is offered on a discount, several products are offered on discount. So there are a lot of people who will come in and place orders. So in a normal day, writing into two tables as a single unit of work might be very much possible. But think of a sale day where if your transactions needs to be lightweight, instead of writing into one table, we are writing to two table and failing it. This becomes a little heavy transaction. So we need to consider this. I'm not saying this is bad or this is good, but we need to be considerate. We need to give a careful consideration of this while we are implementing transactional outbox pattern. Second, the event publisher, right, which publishes the event to the eventing system. It can be any eventing system. While the event publisher has published the data to the eventing system, By the time eventing system acknowledges that I have accepted it, the event publisher dies. Next time when the event publisher starts again, it might start publishing the data which it has already published but not able to receive the acknowledgement. So what happens here? Duplication of events may happen. So we need to handle the duplicates at the event processing side. The listeners, the cross domain, the other domains which are listening to these domain events need to handle the events in an idempotent manner. What is idempotency? If the same for the same record, if it comes for the next time, it would not result in overwriting. It will not overwrite, but it will acknowledge that I already have the event. I know this event, for this event I have done the processing. I don't want to duplicate the processing. That is what is called idempotency. Handling idempotency is an important aspect of microservices. We will look into what is idempotency, what are the ways that we can handle idempotency in these scenarios in a different video. But it is left to the consumers to consume the events in an idempotent manner. This we need to consider. The other point that we need to consider is additional overhead of deleting the data from outbox table. This is an optional. If we have enough storage and if we know how to handle the data stores efficiently, we need not delete it, but we might have to come up with a way to delete the data from the outbox table as well. Well, if we are deleting it, there is an additional overhead of deleting the data from the outbox table. These are the 3 points that we need to consider while we are implementing this transactional outbox pattern. This is a very useful pattern, and it helps us to atomically notify the customers while we are eventing out. But there are some points that we need to consider. With this, we have come to the end of this tutorial. Please do subscribe to the channel and get notified on new videos. Till then, thanks for your time. Bye.